Hey, welcome back, guys. I've got my tree now dried, but as you can see, as I was talking about earlier, look at all these cracks. I tried leaving those before to give it a bit more of a look after painting it, but all it kept on doing was chipping off and breaking and, yeah, exposing the wire. So what I ended up trying to do, for a quick fix, and ended up showing I actually like the whole look, was I took some hot glue. Let me get some extra glue sticks out. And what I started doing, trying to fix and this, and discovered I actually like, was taking a thin film of glue and just rubbing it down across. So you really don't lose the tree look of the clay, but it helps where the cracks are from falling off. So I'm just trying to quickly do this here. As you can see around the sides, you're going to see the glue just enough to keep this bonded together. I don't want it to be full control, all glue here. So I'm just going down along it, starting from the base, trying to be careful I don't knock any clay off. And as I'm doing that, I actually do little lines trying to lift it up, and I find it actually gives the tree an actually bark feel to it. And then I go around making sure any areas that I missed, I go back over, because I don't want to have to go and notice this as I'm trying to put my leaves on, my brush on the top, and seeing that it's all cracking elsewhere. So I'm just going to give this a few seconds here on the side. I'm going to be very careful trying to pick this up and grab it from here. So what I do is I just kind of grab it from the base, come underneath, see where all that crack is in here. I'm actually going to come down inside, find a good angle, and start doing the same thing, and just making sure I don't lose anything on the sides as I start doing my leaves on here. Yeah, so you already see a piece that just cracked off and fell. Don't worry about these little strands, you can always pull them off afterwards, or at least I do, and you never notice. Okay, as I'm trying to get into some of these little crevices. Oh, sorry, I'm too high up. Okay, so I got underneath there. Now the next part I'm going to try to get so I don't lose any of the stuff while I'm coming along this area. Usually I have a bit of a toothpick with me, and I cleaned up my work desk the other day. See, it's already good enough that I can pick up in here. Sorry for some of the crappy shots. I'm trying to keep this down, but I'm trying to get a good eye view. Make sure I got all around here. I don't want it too thick. I just want it light enough. Again, don't worry about these strands. They easily come off once dried. See, you already seeing how I'm pulling these right off. These little strands come off really nice and easy. Okay, so I'm looking on here. I see a few areas I can put a little light run across. And this is actually looking pretty good on the side. So now I'm just going to kind of find my first branch I can get in here. I'm going to move the gun a little bit this way so we can get in. And I just use the sides to lightly brush over. See, here's more of the crack. I just take this and lightly run it, because I don't want to have it all full of glue. Plus it's kind of expensive on glue sticks, even if you're buying them at the buck or two stores. You know, I usually go through about 4 or 5 sticks because of the cracking of this clay. As you see in this side, there's no real crack. Again, you'll see a lot of me pulling this off as I'm going. All right, this corner in here needs to be lightly covered over. Well, those parts that don't crack are good for staying. It's the cracking itself, once it cracks during the drying, where it cracks, it doesn't stay. Yeah, the first time I did this, I thought, ooh, this is nasty looking on here. Trying to fix up some little crop areas. And once it got painted over, I was quite amazed on the look that I achieved, shockingly. I just want to make sure I'm good in some areas here. Lightly roll it over. Just really, really lightly go into these areas. See how we got some of this? This actually very easily comes off. So, like I said, do not worry at all about this. And perfect example of clay cracking. A lot of times I'll actually do the base 2 first and foremost. Once this cracks off, it doesn't really go in. So let me just give some of this seal it in. I tried using glue before, spray down water, PVA, spray down, it did not work at all. These, like I said, oh yeah, see, just comes right off. Right off. So I'm just going to go around the tree. As you can see, there's a lot of more areas that are still not ready. And I'm just going to quickly do that, and then we'll come back again and get off my hands. So, alright, I'm done with the glue. Yes, it's not pretty looking right now, I admit. And like I said the first time, it was just going to be a fix for something that I had go wrong on me till I can get some better clay. And while I will get some better clay, I happen to actually like the look of what you get. This is the same clay that I was using, and once you've got it painted up, it actually kind of gives it more of a tree look without having to take any engravings and mark upon it. So you kind of take a look at how it looks now, and I did the exact same for this. So I'm going to go run grab some paint because I'm out of my brown, and when I come back I will end up painting this, and then we will go ahead once it dries and do some foliage. And for my foliage I will be using 2 different types of lichen, a light green and a medium green. And once that is applied, I will be using a blended turf to do a light coating over it and tie it in together, where you kind of get, once again, this type of finished look on it. Actually, I'll say my first basic tree I ever did, which did not turn out great at all. With it, let's see where all the broken off pieces were. Thankfully, I've learned how to do trees better. That was my first attempt after watching one of Mel's videos and not fully watching it all the way. Sorry there, Mel. I should have watched it all the way through instead of thinking once I got the twisting of the wiring done, I was good to go. Haha, guess not. Alrighty guys, I'm back again. I went out and got my paint that I needed. I'm just using a brown umber dollar store acrylic paint. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive. So what I usually do, since I started doing these, is I start from the top. Now that my glue is all done, and try to make sure, because you did use glue, or at least I did. If you're using a smarter brand than I did, you won't, of clay, you won't need to worry about doing this. For those stolts like me, and no offense, who didn't do enough research and just went out and bought the cheap clay at their local hobby shop slash arts and crafts store. See how I'm trying to make sure I get all down into those grooves and crevices here underneath. I'm going to flip my tree like this and go lightly, because you don't want to be bending any of your work glue or no glue. It's still going to bend in here if you put a lot of pressure with your brush. That's just physics for anyone who doesn't know. Alright, so I just added a dip of water into my corner of my paint, because I was getting some areas where it just was not seeping down past where some of the glue was into those little knots. Okay, so like, see this one here, you can see it kind of bendy a bit. Don't put a lot of pressure on there. Try to go nice and light. Again, I'm adding just a little bit of water to help it run down into some of the grooves here. As I go around, I pay attention to each little branch very carefully, just because just when you go over it the first time does not mean you got down into your glue crevices. Okay, so it seems like I got all but, oh no, I totally forgot to get that one. That's why it's good practice to go and check around a few times and make sure you got all your branches. So go around, checking, some pooling from the areas I watered down. So I'm just going to go back over with my brush and try to feather that into the, oh sorry if I just saw an area that I missed, but it's just a trick of the light on my eyes. So let's go. I guess if you want to use a spray paint with a spray gun, that actually probably go quicker and you're not worrying about getting into crevices. I was just thinking it must be kind of boring watching me do some of this painting here. I know I'm not one to want to watch other people paint, but I want to make sure you guys get a full and complete video of what I'm doing here. So as I'm going around, I keep on checking as the paint starts to dry up. Make sure there's no areas that didn't get missed. A little bit of water, mix it in with my paint because I'm going over it. Oh, that was a little too much. Not enough mixed in with the area of paint I'm working with. Okay, so I'm just going quickly underneath here now. All right. Before I start on the base, I just want to give a complete. So as you can see, I've got the top all done. Made sure my paint's pulled down without glopping and cutting off crevices into the holes. And now I'm just going to quickly use what's left on my brush here to go around the sides. Now I like to turn the paper just because I think it helps avoid missing any areas at first. You can kind of see as you're going what you're getting into, and you don't need to touch the tree. See, as I'm going, I see one of the areas that's pooled over here needs to kind of touch it up. I want to fan some of these areas up cooled down on the sides in here. And now I'm just going to quickly, I don't go all the way around usually, just I'm going to right now because I'm going to be putting this down on a base and blending it in with flock and bush and other shrub. Once it's done, I just usually want to try to get it to a point. Yeah, see, I'm seeing some areas here. For someone who's generally usually hasty, this is about the only stuff I'm not that hasty on. I will let everything dry. I'm just trying to give a look. Oh, I see a spot right in the back here that needs to... See how much nicer it's already starting to look compared to what it was without any paint. You can actually see it looks like you're getting into some oak, like some actual feature on the tree. And yeah, so that's pretty much all you need to do. I'll just get that extra paint off my brush. Get some off on the paper here so I don't. Alright, so yeah, I'm just going to let that dry. Usually this takes me about 15-20 minutes in total to dry. And I see one little other spot that the paint didn't go on, but it's fine. It will be covered up with the shrubbery. And I think, no, my cigarette, somewhat went out, but not fully. So yeah. So what I'm going to do here is let this bad boy dry up a little bit. Oh yeah, see, I found another piece that broke off. I should have glued better down on the bottom. Yes, do not use Michael's Natural Clay paint, the $15 stuff. Horrible, horrible. So as this one, you can see with a little minifigure, if you're a Warhammer Wargaming person, it fits perfectly under this tree as you're going along. See, everywhere's around. Well, minus if you lift it up into it. And that should be good. Now, if you're building this just for dioramas without any wargaming or Warhammer, you know, just go with the size that you really want for your diorama. It's all dependent on how high, how tall, how many branches you want. Okay, so once this is dry, I will be back to do more of the shrub.